In the shadowed recesses of time, before the dawn of recorded history, the Earth was a pristine jewel, vibrant and teeming with potential. However, the tranquility of this nascent world did not go unnoticed by the interdimensional entities known as the Archons. These reptilian beings, originating from the lower astral dimension, the level nearest to our physical reality, cast their gaze upon Earth with envious hunger. The Archons, or Anunnaki, as they were known in ancient Babylonian myth, were deities of immense power and cunning. In the apocryphal texts of old, they were also known as the Watchers, the fallen angels who descended from the heavens and mingled with humanity. Driven by an insatiable thirst for control and sustenance, they embarked on a sinister campaign to dominate the planet and enslave its inhabitants. From their strongholds deep within the Earth, the Archons set their plans into motion. They orchestrated a series of genetic experiments, intertwining their own DNA with that of early humans. These breeding programs, conducted over millennia, created a hybrid race, a blend of human and Archon bloodlines. This new lineage, known as the Babylonian Brotherhood or the Illuminati, possessed the ability to shapeshift, revealing their true scaly reptilian forms only to those who dared to see beyond the illusion. The first of these hybridizations occurred hundreds of thousands of years ago, seeding the Earth with beings whose loyalties lay not with humanity, but with their reptilian overlords. The latest and most profound hybridization took place approximately 7,000 years ago, during the rise of Sumer. These hybrids, more Archon than human, emerged as the ruling elite, infiltrating positions of power and influence across the globe. They became the hidden hand guiding the destinies of nations, manipulating global events from the shadows. The Archons thrived on the negative energy produced by human suffering. Wars, plagues, famines, and societal unrest were not random occurrences, but meticulously crafted scenarios, designed to generate a constant flow of despair and fear. This dark energy, a delicacy to the Archons, was the lifeblood that sustained their dominion over the Earth. Living in secretive enclaves beneath the surface, the Archons directed their hybrid progeny with ruthless efficiency. These shapeshifters, descendants of the constellation Draco, perpetuated the ancient traditions and sinister objectives of their forebears. From the Sumerian temples to the modern corridors of power, the Babylonian Brotherhood has maintained an unbroken lineage of control, their influence pervasive and insidious. As humanity evolved, the Archons adapted. They harnessed advancing technology, using it as a tool of surveillance and manipulation. Social media, entertainment, and even the news became instruments to mold public perception, keeping the masses distracted and divided. The illusion of choice and freedom masked the reality of their enslavement, a reality carefully crafted by the Archons. Yet throughout history, there have been those who sensed the underlying truth. Prophets, seers, and enlightened individuals who glimpsed beyond the veil, warned of the unseen forces at play. Often dismissed as madmen or heretics, their voices carried the seeds of rebellion. For the Archons' greatest fear was the awakening of humanity, a collective realization of the true nature of their existence. Today, the struggle continues. The Archons' grip remains firm, but the cracks in their facade grow. More people begin to question, to see the patterns, and to challenge the narrative imposed upon them. The key to defeating the Archontic influence lies in awakening the heart and mind, embracing love and unity over fear and division. As humanity edges closer to this collective awakening, the Archons' power wanes, inching the world ever closer to reclaiming its true potential. This is the hidden history of the world, a story of cosmic conflict and terrestrial enslavement, of dark machinations and the unyielding spirit of human resilience. As the dawn of enlightenment approaches, one question remains. Will humanity rise above its engineered fears to reclaim its destiny? Or will the Archons tighten their grip, condemning the Earth to another cycle of darkness and despair? The answer lies within us all, waiting to be awakened. Imagine this. The world around you is but a facade, a shimmering mirage designed to deceive your senses. Every choice you've ever made, every relationship you've cherished, every triumph and defeat, all mere figments of an elaborate simulation crafted to ensnare your mind. This is not a dream, nor a nightmare. This is your reality. In the grand tapestry of existence, you are but a character in a meticulously programmed narrative, living within a colossal virtual reality, constructed over 250,000 years ago. This isn't a playground of digital fantasy, but a sophisticated prison designed for one sinister purpose: to harvest your essence as sustenance. A shadowy cabal, a genetically modified human Archon hybrid race known as the Babylonian Brotherhood or the Illuminati, pulls the strings behind the scenes. These reptilian shapeshifters orchestrate global events, from wars to famines, pandemics to societal unrest, with one primary objective: to generate an abundant supply of negative energy. Your pain, your fear, your anguish, they are the delicacies that sustain these beings. While your fleeting moments of happiness and joy are digestible, they crave the rich, dark flavors of despair, malice, and especially anger. They feast upon your suffering, growing stronger with each tear shed and scream uttered. You come into this world wide-eyed and innocent, a blank slate ready to absorb the intricacies of a society that barely acknowledges your existence. You learn, you grow, you strive to fit into the molds provided. Maybe you find love, build a family, perhaps even watch your children grow and experience the cycle themselves. Then, inevitably, you die. The pain seems to cease as you draw your last breath, but death is merely a temporary respite, a cruel illusion of escape. For in this insidious design, death is not an end, but a reset. You are reborn, to live through the agony once more, trapped in an endless cycle of torment, feeding the insatiable hunger of your captors. This is the story that has been hidden from you, the truth lurking beneath the veneer of your everyday life. A story that challenges the very fabric of your understanding, urging you to question the nature of your reality and the forces that govern it. Are you ready to peel back the layers of this illusion? Are you prepared to confront the harrowing truth of your existence? Let us journey together into the depths of this revelation, unraveling the secrets of a world meticulously crafted to keep you blind, to keep you docile, and most importantly, to keep you afraid. For in the dark corners of this reality, the Archons await, hungry and ever watchful, ready to consume the very essence of your soul. In the beginning, there was light, not the comforting glow of the sun or the gentle flicker of a candle, but an artificial radiance, cold and sterile. This light illuminated a chamber, a sterile cocoon, where the first human mind was connected to the simulation. The architects of this virtual reality, ancient beings from a distant world, gazed upon their creation with a mix of pride and hunger. These beings, the Archons, were not benevolent creators. They were predators, and their prey was the rich tapestry of human emotion. As the simulation expanded, so did the complexity of the human experience. Entire civilizations rose and fell within the confines of this digital construct, each era meticulously designed to evoke the most potent emotional responses. The Archons thrived on conflict, manipulating events to maximize human suffering. Wars, plagues, natural disasters, each was a carefully orchestrated event, a feast for the insatiable hunger of these ancient predators. But their most cunning creation was the illusion of choice. Humans believed they were the masters of their destiny, free to forge their paths. Yet every decision, every action was subtly guided by the invisible hand of the Archons. They created a world where humans were constantly striving, constantly struggling, forever reaching for an unattainable perfection. And with each failure, each setback, the Archons grew stronger. In the grand theater of this simulation, the Babylonian Brotherhood played a crucial role. These human Archon hybrids were the perfect instruments of control, their reptilian nature hidden beneath a veneer of humanity. They infiltrated positions of power, shaping policies, and guiding societal norms to maintain a constant state of fear and uncertainty. They were the hidden hand behind the throne, the puppet masters pulling the strings of kings and emperors, presidents and prime ministers. To the average person, life seemed mundane, filled with everyday joys and sorrows. But beneath this mundane surface lay a dark truth. Every smile, every tear, every heartbeat was monitored and manipulated. The education system was designed to indoctrinate, not enlighten. The media was a tool of distraction, keeping the masses focused on trivialities while the real power remained hidden. Even religion, the solace of many, was a double-edged sword, offering hope while simultaneously instilling fear of the unknown. As you grew, you were taught to conform, to fit into predefined roles. Your aspirations were shaped by societal expectations, your fears amplified by carefully crafted narratives. The illusion of freedom kept you docile, the fear of the unknown kept you compliant. And all the while the archons feasted on your emotions, growing fat on your suffering. But not everyone was blind to this reality. Throughout history, there have been those who sensed the deception, who glimpsed the truth behind the illusion. These individuals, often labeled as heretics or madmen, tried to warn humanity. They spoke of a world beyond the visible, of unseen forces manipulating events. Their voices were often silenced, their warnings dismissed as the ravings of lunatics. Yet their words carried a kernel of truth, a glimmer of hope in the darkness. In the modern age, the illusion has grown even more sophisticated. Technology, initially hailed as a tool of liberation, has become another instrument of control. Social media, surveillance systems, and artificial intelligence all are extensions of the Archon's influence, designed to monitor and manipulate on an unprecedented scale. The cage has become more complex, more inescapable, yet the fundamental purpose remains the same: to harvest your emotions, to feed on your essence. The story of your life is but a chapter in a much larger narrative, a tale of deception and exploitation that spans millennia. The Archons are the unseen authors, crafting a plot that ensures their survival at the expense of your freedom. They thrive on your ignorance, your compliance, your willingness to accept the world as it is presented to you. But what if you could break free? What if you could shatter the illusion and glimpse the true nature of your existence? The journey towards enlightenment is fraught with peril, but it is a path worth treading. For only by confronting the darkness can you hope to reclaim the light. As you begin to question the reality around you, the world starts to appear different. Subtle cracks appear in the facade, hints of the underlying truth. Patterns emerge, revealing the artificial nature of your environment. The synchronicities, the improbable coincidences, all point towards a grand design. A simulation so intricate that it has fooled humanity for eons. You are not alone in this awakening. Across the globe, others are starting to see through the illusion, to question the narratives imposed upon them. This collective awakening is a threat to the Archons, for an informed populace is harder to control. The Babylonian Brotherhood, sensing the growing unrest, tightens its grip, employing new methods of distraction and division. They amplify societal tensions, create new conflicts, and foster a climate of fear to keep the masses in check. But the seeds of doubt have been planted, and they begin to grow. Individuals and groups start to seek out the truth, sharing their findings and forming networks of resistance. They delve into ancient texts, study forbidden knowledge, and explore the fringes of science and spirituality. The revelations they uncover are staggering, yet they confirm what their intuition has been whispering all along. They learn that the simulation is not just a digital construct, but a complex interplay of energy and consciousness. The Archons are not merely physical beings, but entities that exist beyond the material plane, feeding on the psychic energy generated by human emotions. The simulation is their means of sustaining themselves, a parasitic relationship that has trapped humanity in a cycle of birth, suffering, and rebirth. These seekers of truth begin to experiment with ways to disrupt the simulation, to weaken the Archon's hold. Meditation, lucid dreaming, and other practices become tools of liberation, helping individuals to connect with their true selves and access realms beyond the physical. They discover that the key to breaking free lies in understanding the nature of consciousness and reclaiming the power that has been systematically stripped away. The resistance grows, and with it, the hope of a new dawn. The Archons, sensing the threat to their dominion, escalate their efforts to maintain control. They employ advanced technology, psychological warfare, and even direct intervention to quash the uprising. The struggle intensifies, becoming a battle not just for survival, but for the very soul of humanity. As the conflict reaches its zenith, a profound realization dawns upon the resistance. The power to defeat the Archons does not lie in physical confrontation, but in transcending the simulation altogether. By raising their collective consciousness, by embracing love, compassion, and unity, they can starve the Archons of the negative energy they crave. The very emotions that have been used as weapons against them become their greatest strength. This awakening spreads like wildfire, igniting a global movement. People begin to see through the lies, to reject the fear that has been their prison. They connect with one another on a deeper level, recognizing the shared humanity that binds them. The illusion starts to crumble, the simulation falters, and the Archon's grip loosens. In this climactic moment, you stand at a crossroads. The choice before you is stark. Continue to live in the comfortable illusion, or embrace the uncertain path of truth and liberation. The journey will be arduous, filled with challenges and sacrifices, but the reward is nothing less than the reclamation of your soul. As the world around you shifts, you take the first step towards freedom. You join hands with those who have awakened, forging a new reality built on the principles of love, empathy, and collective consciousness. The Archons retreat, their power waning in the face of this newfound unity. The cycle of suffering is broken, and humanity begins to heal. This is your story, the story of a soul that dared to challenge the illusion, to seek the truth, and to reclaim its destiny. It is a tale of courage, resilience, and the unbreakable spirit of human consciousness. The journey is far from over, but with each step you draw closer to the light, to the truth, and to the liberation of all humankind. Welcome to the awakening. Welcome to the revolution. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an adventure with us.